All right, so today what we got in the stores was the Arctic V8. So I'm going to show you what comes in the box, how to fill it, how to change the coil, and of course, more importantly, the difference between all the different coils, because there's lots of coils that go in this guy. All right, so what comes in the box is, of course, your tank, some spare glass with some extra O-rings, all different sizes for your mouthpiece, for the tank, inside the glass. So that's pretty awesome. And then you get two coils in here. You get the Tiger coil that's pre-installed, and then the Hive, which I'll explain the difference between those in a little bit. All right, so we're gonna pull out the tank here. Very similar construction to the regular Arctic, the dual coil Arctic. You change the coil from the bottom down here. As you can see, that's a huge coil. And this is the Tiger coil. Screw that in there. So it's very similar to how you change the coil for the TFV4. You want to prime it really well, and you want to let it sit for a few minutes before you even try to crank it up. All right, so once you put the coil in there, screw that back together nice and tight. And then we're actually going to fill this guy from the top. So you're going to unscrew the top mouthpiece here, and you're going to fill up around in there. All right, pretty simple. All right, mouthpiece is a standard mouthpiece. I can fit the same ones that I use on my other Arctic, and the airflow holes are the same as the other Arctic. So pretty similar, pretty easy to understand. Now, the coils. Now, the coils it comes with is a 0.3 Hive coil and a 0.3 Tiger coil. Now, the difference between those two coils, the Hive, if you look down in there, if you can see it at all, the Hive is actually two Kanthal coils, two Kanthal wires twisted together, and another two twisted together, and then those two twisted together. So I guess that's why they call it the Hive. It is good for high wattage vaping, gives pretty good flavor even when you're running it up towards the higher ones, 80 to 100 watts. And the good thing about this one, even though it's high wattage, these coils, not just the Hive, but they actually wick really quickly. I'm glad to find a tank that can keep up with my hot boxing. All right, so the next coil, the one that comes pre-installed in there, is your Tiger coil. Now your Tiger coil is actually pretty cool. This guy has a lot of flavor. It covers a lot of surface area, and what makes it a Tiger coil, it is actually a flat wire and a round Kanthal wire twisted together, and what makes your Tiger coil. Now, you can't run the Tiger coil as high as you can run the Hive, but this guy gives a lot of good flavor, and I found out that I get very, very little to no dry hits at all with this guy. All right. Now, with these tanks, because the coils are so big, and I'm sure you guys have smoked off the regular Arctic, you kind of get that cotton taste in the beginning. Once you get through the first tank, that'll go away. And to be honest, this tank, I got one filled up I was vaping on earlier, is the best flavor and vapor production that I have seen from any tank that we carry so far. So that's awesome. All right, so now some of the other coils that we have that can go in this guy. We have your Clapton coil. All right, this is 4 dual coils all standing next to each other. Looks very similar to the TFV4. Again, this is for your high wattage vaping, lots of flavor, can go up to 120 watts. I brought it up to about 100 and I couldn't take it anymore. It had so much vapor, I mean, for cloud comps, and the flavor off of this guy is great. I mean, I think it blows the TFV4 out of the water, to be honest. The TFV4 blows clouds and everything, but the flavor off of this guy, even at 100 watts, it is delicious. All right, and then the next coil that we have is our temperature control coil. Now, same thing, NI 200, pretty much the same as the rest, you know, temp control mod, temp control coil. With all of these, you do want to prime them well. And this guy is rated from 212 to 575 degrees. All right, I haven't tried the temp control coil for this one yet. But like I said, the Tiger coil to me had by far the best flavor. The Clapton coil is for high wattage vaping, lots of coils, lots of vapor production. It's a nice smooth vapor. And it doesn't really burn the back of my throat as much as the TFV4. It's like a smoother, more flavorful vapor. The only coil we haven't discussed yet is the snake coil, which it does not come with, but we do sell them. The snake coil is kind of similar to the tiger coil. It's a flat and a round together. The difference, like the tiger, is the flat and the round twisted together to make one coil. The snake coil is an actual round Kanthal that they made the coil and then took the flat Kanthal and wrapped it around the round coil. All right, so that's the main difference. They smoke pretty similar. They give a pretty similar vapor and flavor, so I guess it's all kind of a preference thing. But like I said, my preference, definitely the tiger coil. With that in there, this is the best, most flavorful tank that I've had so far, which is a good thing for Horizon because I love their original Arctic as well. All right, so that's pretty much it. Discussed all the coils. Now the only thing that I'd say is, one, I definitely pre-mix your liquid before you put it in here, especially if you're mixing with VG or different flavors. There is no wiggle room in here. So you want to fill it, you want to pre-mix your liquid in a bottle, and then you want to fill it. You don't want to mix it in here because it's hard to mix. It'll just layer. Another thing is this guy, especially because these coils, honestly, they do not give good vapor production unless they are above 40 watts. Anything below 40 watts, you really don't get much out of it. So I definitely keep the wattage no matter what coil you're using, 40 and above. Now, regardless, I still fire it off at about 20, 30 watts and work up from there. The best vapor production, like I said, is above 40. Now, I did realize because you have to run it above 40 watts to get anything good out of it, the top piece up here, not the actual mouthpiece, but the top blade up here gets pretty hot. So either don't put your mouth on it, don't let your lips touch that, which is hard for me. So I actually took this guy off of the Aspire Cleto, which is another great tank that I'll review later. And I put it over the top. It's actually to cover this piece right here. It's a little rubber piece, and it covers it so that it doesn't get hot or that your mouth doesn't touch it. So after you put it on, it kind of looks like that. And I found with this guy right here, I like it a lot better because even though my lips touch it, it doesn't get hot. It gets a little warm, but it's not too bad. All right, that's pretty much it. I haven't had any leaking issues or anything yet, but I've only had it for about a day, so give me some time. If I find any issues that I'm having with it, I'll update my videos. All right.